Hello viewers and welcome to part 5 of the Clues Cat Does Final Fantasy XIV story playthrough as per requested by Twitch viewers. More bad monotone dialogue incoming. Now where we left off at the start of our first dungeon, Sastasha. Okay, so either I can touch the entrance and it'll ask me about NPCs or other players. I'm gonna hit you and I'm gonna bring up Sastasha. I'm gonna try this as a healer. We'll see how a at-level healer does. Yeah, healer and tanks are your go-to if you want quick cues, but that's only if you are competent enough to learn how to play them. Otherwise, stick with DPS. Let's go. Normally healers get quickest cues though. 6 minutes later. It popped? Yes. And always remember when entering dungeon to eat because you get slightly more experience. Special note, if you're a tank, always make sure that your tank stance is on before you start pulling things in dungeon. And for healers, right click, focus, target the tank, and it'll make it a little bit easier for you to heal him. Slowing the clip down to show that bloody memo dead ahead. One person from your party should run up and catch that to see what the color is to start the first boss battle. We had one of our DPS run up and do it. Okay, fun fact for this point, you can completely ignore those giant clams since they're passive anyway. Ignore the Shade Seekers because they only take a few hits from your DPS to kill and just power through this area. We didn't do that because our tank is new. Now to bring out this boss, you need to click whichever formation color was on the note. This will bring an inconspicuous switch. You flip that and a core will appear. It's pretty much well spank and tank. It does do an AoE that can stun everyone in the area. That is stunnable as well, by the way, so you can interrupt it. This thing right here, Charge Whisker. Other than that, pretty basic. Once it's dead, you flip the switch again and you'll be able to continue. Now, loot rolls in this game work that you can only roll need on it if your current class you're playing can equip it. Do not need something if you do not actually need it, because there may be someone else that might need it. But if it's an upgrade, go for it. This one isn't really a boss, it's kind of like a mini boss, but it's pretty much will just tank and spank. And for anyone that isn't familiar with that notion, it's that the tank just holds aggro and everyone else just beats the bejesus out of it. Now here you're going to see that the tank pulled 2 enemies off screen. They were guarding a door and they hold the key to unlocking that door. Once you've unlocked that door, there will be a single enemy inside to kill, which will hold a key to the Wave Rider gate, which is what you need to continue on with the dungeon. Tank and Spank for this guy again, except this time when he's at 50% health, he will call about 3 or 4 dogs down to attack you as well. So many levels. You sully our spawning ground, Shorewalker. Now for this part, it's pretty much will Spank and tank as well. If your tank can tank it in the middle of all these unnatural ripples, however, if your DPS sucks, those unnatural ripples will spawn adds. So if it's in the middle, your ranged DPS should be able to hit those ripples as a just in case, as well as DPS the boss. But if your DPS is good enough, you should be able just to ignore the ripples and plow through the boss like we're doing for the most part. Except me, because I don't trust people. At the end of dungeons or instances, you can generally give a player commendation to the player that you think did the best, or you can completely skip it. Some people do or don't. It really depends if you want to be nice or a jerk. And then you can either just leave after the loot's been rolled if you care about the loot, or hit U and leave, and there you go. Dungeon done. And back to the Drowning Wench. By teleporting, because I'm lazy. I went in at 15, came out at 24. Oh. Did I ever mention that I love Road to 80 servers? Aye, such a task was on the books. Was, mind. I'm afraid that ship has already sailed, friend. Ah, might you be the adventurer who accepted the job of investigating Sastasha? Yep. Would seem that ship has not only sailed, but now returns to Arbor. None the worse for its voyage. A pity. We dragged our boots too long on this one. No matter, the wheel will turn and our chance will come. You are right, of course, but there shall be no rest till we have attained our goal, lofty though it may be. Not a wink of sleep, great leader. Our aim, lest you wonder, is to perform such feats of heroism as to earn us a place in the songs of every alehouse in Eorzea. We mean to write a legend which will inspire adventurers as yet unborn to follow our shining example. Do you have such a goal? Large or small, it matters not. Only have a star to reach for and you will reach higher. Purpose can sustain you through times of hardship. Keep your eye on the prize and all obstacles will be overcome in time. You would not think to stride into battle unclad, would you? Well, goals are as arms and armor for the spirit. I wish you fortune in your endeavors, my lady. Oh, how sweet. He called me my lady. I almost want a curtsy. Back then, are ya? With all your limbs and a tale to tell, I'll wager. Yup. Fishbacks. And there I was thinking you'd only have to crack a pirate's skull or 3. 7 hells. You turn your back for 5 bloody minutes and the scaly bastard has set up shop on your bleeding doorstep. Still, sounds like you left 'em in pieces, so I don't suppose they'll be carrying out whatever mischief they was planning, unless they was planning on feeding themselves to the fawn of Sastasha, of course. Any road all's well that ends well. Thanks for shedding some light on this mystery. I knew you'd get the job done, lass. You always do. Now, I'll bet you're dying for rest, but just in case you're not, I was wondering if you might be interested in taking on another job? It just so happens that I've had a request from our sister guild in Gridannia, see? Seems the forest folk are in need of a venture. What can get things done? For them to ask for help like this, you can bet the task won't be, skip through a sunny glade. But after the way you dealt with our fishback infestation, I doubt it's anything you can't handle. Give us a shout when you're ready and I'll lay it out for you. Okay. Party Finder unlocked. What this means is as soon as I unlock a second dungeon, I'm going to be able to queue for something that's known as roulettes, which can be done every day. Okay, Call of the Forest. Battaron has information on a new task. Ready to hear about that job then? Like I said, the request comes from our sister guild in Gridannia. And that's all I know, but whatever it is you get asked to do, I somehow doubt it'll pose any trouble for a venturer as survived the bedlam of Sastasha. If you think you might be interested, you'll want to have a word with Mother Miorne, me counterpart in Gridannia. Good luck, lass. Airship landing. It'll be cheaper than going to the Aetherites. Don't need to see these. Take a seat wherever you like, friend. Our waitress will come to take your... Oh, you're not here to dine? Dare I hope that you're the adventurer Battaron sent word about? You are? The matron be praised. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mione, and the Caroline Canopy is my place. With regard to the task in question, there is a fair bit to tell. Let me know when you're ready to hear the details, and I shall brief you. Fire in the gloom. Mionia is waiting to brief you on your task. Ready for that briefing? Good. Now then, here's the long and short of it. Beg pardons for interrupting, Mionia, but our need grows ever more pressing. Have none step forward. And good evening to you too, Beau Lord. Your need must be pressing indeed for you to honor us with a visit. The good news is, your journey hasn't been wasted. I'm pleased to report that we have a volunteer at last. The one who comes highly recommended at that. My thanks for answering the call, friend. My name is Lowen, and I lead the men and women of the God's Quiver. Now, time is of the essence, so I shall proceed directly to the heart of the matter. We wish for you to nip a potential threat to Gridannia in the bud. Beneath the central shroud, there lies an underground burial site called the Tam-Tara Deepcroft. The place was once a Gelmoran settlement, but we Gridannians have long interred our deed there. Of late, however, shadowy figures have been seen skulking about the Deepcroft in the ever-increasing regularity. Based on the accounts of various witnesses, we suspect that these individuals belong to the Lambs of Dalamud, a doomsday cult which sprung up prior to the calamity. These zealots have proven themselves dangerous in the past, and we leave them to their own devices at our peril. Ordinarily, I would have dispatched my best men to scour the Deepcroft with orders to flush the cultists out. Alas, the calamity decimated our ranks, and the limited forces at my disposal are constantly required to keep the Ixal at bay. The Burnmen have grown restless of late, and I fear a storm may be brewing. In anticipation of this, I have been compelled to spread our forces throughout the Twelveswood, lest we be taken unawares. The situation so being, we must turn to others to deal with the Lambs of Dalamud. Can we rely on you to undertake this task, friend? Yep. You have my gratitude. Once you've seen to your preparations, pray make your way to the Deepcroft and identify yourself to the guard posted at the entrance. He will apprise you of the latest developments, that is all. Be careful out there, you hear? May the crystal guide you and keep you. Okay, Tam-Tara Deepcroft it is. Let's see, I think I can take a Choco Porter out to the first city. Actually, can I rent a Chocobo? I'd rather rent a Chocobo. No, hire a porter. Yes, hire a porter to Benbratch Meadows. This will be a lot quicker than on foot. Granted, it'll stick to the road, whereas on foot I can cut through, but still quicker. Now, I can't remember if I've unlocked this Aetheryte yet, so let's check. Okay, I'll tune in and go all the way, well, a lot south and a little bit to the west. Okay, it's gonna be back to my Marauder then, because my tank is one level behind. You're Amber, I take it. Thanks for helping us out, friend. No doubt the Bull Order's already informed you, but your task is to enter the Deepcroft and purge it of the Lambs of Dalamud. In case you're unfamiliar with them, the cult emerged shortly before the Calamity put an end to the 6th astral era. Oh, yeah, I was reading that right. The cultists took the lesser moon Dalamud for their god, believing that it would deliver them from the devastation. And so they were rather disappointed when Dalamud exploded into 1,000 flaming pieces before it could complete its descent. Now, having seen their god turn to ash, one would think that the cultists might feel moved to question their faith. On the contrary, it served only to stoke the flames of their fanaticism. The Lambs of Dalamud are convinced that heretics, that is to say, everyone but them, interfered with the coming of their Lord and Savior, and that it's now their sacred duty to avenge him. Whatever it is they're going in the Deepcroft, you may be sure that no good will come of it for the sake of Gridannia and Eorzea at large. Put an end to their madness. So after trying to queue for probably over 20 minutes for this dungeon, for every roll I possibly could and getting nowhere, I decided to try NPCs. Oh boy. Yeah, good luck. Let's see how this goes. Eager my butt. Let's go. Oh, good. The Marauder does go after more things if you pull them. So you can control it to some extent. Fun fact about this dungeon, if you actually have a really, really good, competent healer, you can do wall-to-wall pulls to each boss, and you'll be able to be healed just fine through this. Assuming you know, pop your defensive cooldowns if you're a tank, or if your tank pops defensive cooldowns. Kind of fun. I just wish I had AoEs at this level. No, these groups are just kind of like mini bosses, I guess. You kill the little group here and a demon spawns, and it has an AoE cleave attack in front of it, so unless you're a tank, don't stand in front of it. It is interruptible though, and then you touch the orb and that deactivates the barrier and you can move on. 3 groups of these to do. So yeah, I prefer playing with real people as opposed to NPCs. Real people may be occasionally dumb, but they get it done quicker. Next mini boss is there. Okay, the barrier to the final partial boss, we have to just continue all the way through here, wipe out some trash, and get the rosary, and then we'll be able to deactivate it and get to the final mini-boss. Who summons me from the void to reside within this crude vessel? So some things to look up for this guy is he will sometimes spawn ads. A few of them may be tethered to him. The tethered ads are imps. You need to kill them or you're not going to be able to do any damage to him. This will happen a few times. There's also a thing where he's going to do an AoE around him. That's going to either stun or paralyze you. I can't remember what because it's been forever since I've been hit by it. But you do not want to stand in that. That is not interruptible. Other than that, kill him. No commendation for anyone, you all sucked. Dungeon done. Was a little bit painful for the length, but better than waiting in a god knows how long queue. Okay, I want to go back to Gridannia. Actually, it's fairly cheap just to teleport there. And I got a lot of levels. Again. Cool beans. Then after this, I'll help the lovely people at Ul'dah. Welcome back, Amber. I'm reliably informed that your foray into Deepcroft was a success. Nor did I expect anything less. Spatteron's ringing endorsements left me little doubt as to your capabilities. Even so, you are to be commended. Although Lord Lowen asked me to pass on his thanks. I must say, it's something of a relief to be able to call upon such a capable adventurer. Sadly, death has become an ever more common occurrence within our fraternity of late. Times being what they are, the guild is constantly inundated with petitions, and we are hard-pressed to find enough hands to deal with them all. While this means no shortage of work for able souls such as yourself, it also provides ample opportunity for the inexperienced to overreach themselves, with predictable consequences. As if to illustrate the point. Aver's gone, and it's all your fault. If it hadn't taken you an age to heal him, he would still be alive. But I tried. He bolted out of range before I could finish the spell. He shouldn't have been so hard-pressed in the first place. We should have done more to lighten his burden. Bah, to hell's with this pathetic excuse for a party. I'm leaving. It'd be too soon if I ever see your faces again. Goodbye and good riddance. I'm leaving as well. I doubt this comes as any surprise, but I never liked you. I only suffered you for your healing, but you couldn't even do that one thing right. Cruel though this may sound, you brought this upon yourself. Oh, and by the way, some parting advice? Get rid of Aver's head. Bury it, cremate it, do whatever the hells you like with it, but for God's sake, stop carrying it around. It's just get rid of it, alright? Wait, please don't leave me alone, please. I'm so sorry, Aver. Please forgive me. Scenes like this have become all too common. That makes a dozen times in half as many days. Now you see why I'm grateful for adventures of your experience. I can send women like you on a mission without worrying that you may not return. Well, not so much, at any rate. Speaking of missions, I would entrust you with another. About a bell ago, I received a message from my counterpart in Ul'dah. She seeks the services of a reliable adventurer, and you are nothing if not reliable. If you think you might be interested in this task, say the word, and I will be glad to share the details with you. Okay. Well, I kind of want to progress the storyline, so, yeah, I don't really have much of a choice. Call of the Desert, Mione, has information on a new task. So, you're not averse to taking a little trip? Wonderful! As I mentioned earlier, the request comes to us from the Adventurers Guild in Ul'dah. Once you arrive, seek out Mumady, the proprietress of the Quicksand. Think of her as a sultanat's version of myself. Chances are she'll send you into the midst of danger, but I have every confidence that you will pull through unscathed. Now, off you go, Amber, and good luck. Ul'dah. Yes. Same amount of time to the Aetheryte, doesn't matter. Let's go, Adventure Skill. Welcome to the quicksand, friend. I'm a tad busy right now. If you wouldn't mind showing yourself too. Judging by your determined expression, I take it you ain't here for ale. Are you called Amber by any chance? Mione sent word that you be reporting for duty. She also made a point of calling you the adventurer of the moment. That ain't no small praise coming from her. But you didn't come all the way here to listen to my prattle. Doubtless you're eager to get started, so let's talk business, shall we? Into a copper hell. Mamadi's waiting to brief you on your task. The petitioner ought to be arriving any moment now. God's almighty, another second under the sun, and I would have been sent afire. A tankard of ale, if you would be so kind. Excellent timing, Papachon. It just so happens the adventurer you'll be handing your petition is here. So this winsome lass is the much-lauded adventurer, is she? Marvelous, marvelous. A pleasure to make your acquaintance, my lady. I am Papachon, formerly of the Sultan's Sworn. I thank you for agreeing to lend us your aid and not punting me. Mayhap you'd like to apprise Amber of her mission. Yes, of course. The petition in question was submitted by an acquaintance of mine at Imagina and Sons Mineral Concern. It relates to an unfortunate development at Copperbell Mines. To be plain, giants have seized control of the place. These giants are of the clan known as the Hecatonshares, fearsome creatures who are sealed within the deepest depths of the mines during the bygone Thorin dynasty. Alas, it seems they have managed to break through the layer of rock which served to imprison them and now prowl the tunnels where the miners ply their trade. The creatures are justifiably angry about their treatment at the hands of our ancestors, and their presence has forced a suspension of all mining activities on the site. It's no wonder they're angry. Didn't the Thorin dynasty come to an end over 300 years ago? You know your history well, milady. The people of that age used them to work their mines. By way of enchanted helms, they were able to bind the ferocious creatures to their will, but as is oft the way in such tales, these enchantments eventually failed and the slaves rose up against their masters. In a desperate bid to contain the unbridled fury of them, our ancestors induced the collapse of the mine's lowermost levels, so it was that the great giant revolt was ended, buried beneath 100,000 tons of rock. Well now, that's got me thinking. I seem to recall there being an article about Copperbell in the Mithril Eye a fortnight or so ago. It said the mines are being reopened so as to meet the rising demand for building materials. Like as not, our boys dug a bit too deep and freed the giants. Gods, to think the poor creatures are still alive and kicking out after 3 centuries. That's a long time to nurse a grudge. They must be seething. Indeed, and that makes them a danger to us all. There will be no mining at Copperbell so long as they remain. For the sake of both peace and prosperity, they must be subdued. This is the task which we would have you undertake. Yes, better ingredients, better pizza, Papachons. I'll not deny that the mission will be rife with danger, but our need is great, and so I beg you, put an end to this sorry business. Okay. God bless you. I feared you might have reservations, but I assure you it is for the best. In case you don't know, Copperbell mines are in Western Thetaland. Do take care, you hear? Ah, and one last thing before you depart. An employee of Imagina and Sons is presently at the quicksand. The fellow's name is Painted Mesa, and he knows Copperbell mines well. It may behoove you to seek his counsel. Right behind me. Looking for Painted Mesa? You found him. So you're the adventurer's volunteer to deal with a mess down in Copperbell, are you? You've got guts, miss. I just hope you've got the skills to go with them, 'cause things ain't pretty down there. The Hecatonshares left the place in a right state and nary a week after mining resumed. I don't know if you know this, but Copperbell was old when the second old dynasty was still young, and it was abandoned centuries ago. If it hadn't been for the shortage of materials needed for the rebuilding effort, the concern would never have thought to reopen it. We knew full well about the giants beforehand, but the project went ahead anyway. I mean, nothing could possibly survive being buried under a mountain's worth of rock for 3 centuries, right? Wrong. Our miners dug up more than they bargained for, one swing of the pickaxe too many, and they found themselves in the company of giants. Unless we can subdue them, the nation's glorious recovery will ground to a halt for want of aught to build with. The stone torch is keeping watch over the entrance in case the giants fancy some sunlight and fresh air. One of them will be able to show you the way in. The hope of the nation's resting on you, friend. Best of luck. Horizon. That's where I want to go, right? Mounted music. Might as well turn that on. Can unlock the 8th right while I'm here. And I'll make my way to the mines. And now to the east. There's been an incident inside Copperbell Mines. We are here to ensure that its effects are contained, but for your own safety, I suggest you stay well away from here. What, you're the adventurer who's volunteered to quell the Hackettchingers? I didn't think that Papa Sean would be able to find someone so quickly, if at all. Giants are content to wreak havoc inside the mines for now, but it's only a matter of time before they think to come outside. The sooner you see to them, the better. Make ready as best you can and enter at will. Yeah. Insta-Q. Let's go. Kill this trash pet here, and the last one killed will give you HP to unlock that door. I feel like a babysitter because I'm the only non-Wallafil. Fun fact about this upcoming trash is you can pull it all to the final room if you're sure about your healer's competency, because half of it's gonna de-aggro and head back to its original starter positions. Just make sure when you get to this point that you pop your rampart and reprisal within the group of enemies to take some damage away from being done to you, as well as to weaken all the enemies around you. To continue on, there's 2 fire sand in this room. One's right next to me and one is up a little hill just next here. You use the powder chamber and then the blasting device and you'll be able to move on to the boss. Now the mechanics for this boss are pretty easy. He has a tank buster, which is more like a tank tickler, and he will jump in 3 spots consecutively. Each of them are massive. There's only one tiny spot to stand, which he's about to do right here, but it's pretty obvious and you got lots of time to get there. After he does his final jump, he will do this massive conal AoE in front of him. Just make sure to get out of that, and once in a while he'll target a party member and hit them with something. You can't really do much about that, and other than that, tank and spink. Gather the tiny key to unlock the door, and you head to the next lift to take you down. Now from this one, to activate the powder chamber, you need to kill the blasting cap. There's one in each room, both the west and the east room. You kill the blasting cap, get the fire sand, and you'll be able to blow up an area, which will lead to another thing of fire sand and then a boss. Now, thankfully, this overgrown ball of snot's gone easier since the rework. Once in a while, he'll throw something splash out if you don't kill him quick enough. He'll eventually move to the middle of the room, split little pieces of him off, which will explode in a decent size area. Just stay away from those. And he'll keep doing that until he dies, and just tank and spank otherwise. Grab the fire sand, activate the powder chamber, activate the blasting device, blow up a new hole in a wall, and let's deal with some trash. When you go through, hug the wall to the left, as we don't get experience for killing these things anymore, so we want to pull as least trash as possible. At the errant soul, do a hard right. Go in between these two rock formations here and pull the hip curve in with any luck. No one is going to pull anything else, and this is going to be the extent of the trash that you have to kill. Slaves no more! Free! Free! Another easy boss. This is what he does. A little bit in, he's going to do a massive AoE to the whole room except for a little spot directly underneath his hitbox. A little bit after that, he's going to do a large circle around him as well as some circles around the outside. Just stay out of those. Once again, you have plenty of time for both of this to get to your respective positions. He'll do that little room-wide AoE with a thing under him again, so get under him for that again. He'll do a tank buster. I think once in a while he pelts something at someone, but we killed him too quickly to show that one. Okay, report back to the Painted Mesa, which is in Ul'dah. So, like... Ah, the Conqueror of Copperbell returns. Thanks to you, our mining operation can resume, and Ul'dah will have the materials she needs to rebuild. The entire nation's in your debt, friend. I'll share the good tidings with Papashan the next time I see him. As for you, he'll want to report to Momodi. It'll do the woman well to see you alive and in one piece. No! Shut your mouth, you thieving little swine. You stole from me, and don't even think to deny it. Please, sir, I didn't steal nothing. I bought this, paid for it with me own coin. What rot. You refugees are all the same. You couldn't afford maggoty mole meat, much less a choice cut of dodo. I'm going to say it once more. Give back what you stole, or I'll make you wish you'd never set foot in this town. By rights, I should turn you over to the brass blades, you know. Help keep the streets safe for law-abiding citizens, but I'm a reasonable man. If you agree to serve me in whatever capacity I require, the authorities needn't hear of your crime. No, I don't think so. But I ain't done nothing wrong. 12 is me witness. Please, adventurer, help me, I beg of ye. I swear on me mother's grave I didn't steal nothing. I bought this with the coin I'd saved. I only wanted to treat me children to a decent meal. Who the hells are you when you're at home? This dog's masters? I've had enough of this mummer's farce. You lot teach them a lesson. I'm sorry, you were saying? I ain't getting paid enough for this. Hey, where the hell do you think you're going? Thank you, kind adventurer. Thank you twice over. Oh, staring at you gives me a headache. Helping people, no. I'd swear there are more refugees than when I last looked. And you wouldn't be mistaken. But it's been 5 years since the calamity. Why are they only coming here now? It's simple, really. While a number of hamlets survived the immediate aftermath of the calamity, many were no longer able to support their communities. The residents found their lands had either been rendered barren or cut off from trade routes. And problems like those aren't easily solved. Though they tried to make the best of it, it was only a matter of time before they were forced to abandon their homes and seek a new life in the city. I see. But the calamities affected the whole realm, didn't it? Is the same thing happening to other cities? If the talk is true, yes. Though perhaps our situation is more pronounced, Ul'dah has a reputation for being prosperous, so it's natural that the refugees would try their luck here first. My heart goes out to them, it truly does, but I would be lying if I said that I wasn't apprehensive. I hope the present doesn't foment lawlessness in the city. Well, if things do take a turn for the worse, we always have the immortal flames. I dare say the brass blades would welcome their help. The heroes who fought the Garlean Empire patrolling the streets for riffraff? It may well come to that. Impoverished and desperate as they are, you may be sure that some of the refugees will turn to crime. You know what this place is like. If you've no coin, you've no hope. What will become of our city? Not all refugees are bad, mind you. Some are able to find employment and lead honest lives. Dodo tenderloins, get your dodo tenderloins, guaranteed cheapest in Thanalan. Thank you for your custom, madame. Please come again. Looking around, you'd think that Ul'dah was well on its way to recovery. But peer through the veil of prosperity and you'll see no end to the misery and suffering. Madame, are you all right? Yep. What now? You mean to threaten a defenseless citizen? What? Saw her buy that meat, you say? That's absurd. Aye, as did I. Leave the poor woman alone, you damnable vulture. Who said that? I will overlook this, but just this once. God's bless you, adventurer. If you hadn't come along when you did, who knows what that monster might have done. I don't bear to think about it. Ever the selfless hero, I see. It has been a while, adventurer. I've been watching you closely ever since you flew out of Limsa Lominsa. You discharged your duty as the Admiral's personal envoy with admirable humility, and you have displayed unfaltering courage in the face of danger ever since. Whensoever you came upon those in need, you gave them succor with no thought of personal gain. In summary, you have demonstrated all the qualities we seek in an adventurer. For reasons I cannot well explain, your every deed seems invariable to serve the general good, whether you mean to it or not. It is a happy knack, and one which speaks volumes for your character. Yet, for all your admirable qualities, it is your gift which intrigues me most. I speak of the visions you experience, visions like the ones you had mere moments ago. If I am not mistaken, I can provide you with the means to understand them. An acquaintance of mine is blessed with the self-same talent, you see. If you so desire, I can introduce you to her. She and I fight for a common cause, a cause which would greatly benefit for your support. If you would agree to lend us your strength, we should be glad to do all within our power to aid you in your personal endeavors. Think of my offer a while. Should you decide to accept it, pray speak with Momodi, the proprietress of the Quicksand, is a close friend and ally of ours. Inform her that you have been chosen by the Scions of the 7th Dawn, and she will tell you where to find us. Well, if it means I get more gil, okay. Scenes like that are becoming ever more common, I'm afraid. Don't worry though, if you work hard, you'll probably be alright. Saying that, if you ever find yourself in a spot of bother, come and see me. Just don't go pestering me every time you graze your knee, eh? Of course, I do enjoy hearing all tell of gentlemen's woes and womenfolk from time to time. Ah, Amber, sorry to keep you waiting. I was just providing guidance to a fresh-off-the-carriage adventure. But gods, it's good to see you safe and well. To look at you, no one would have guessed you'd ever been hard at it with giants in the dark. You're every in the adventure Mione said you'd be, Amber. The station master will be overjoyed when he hears the news. Oh, before I forget, there's a lass here who wants a word with you. Didn't actually know your name, but here in her description I knew who she meant right away. Thank you for sparing the time. I realize you don't know me, but I've been longing to speak with you for a while now. My name is Ida. I'm an adventurer like you, though I'm not very good at being one, if truth be told. Anyway, I was adventuring with my friends in Gridannia I'm sorry. We were in Gridannia when the leader of our party was killed. His name was Avir, and he and I were to be wed in the spring. You may not remember him, but to say that he remembered you would be an understatement. He would sing your praises from dawn to dusk. He saw you for what you are, you see, an adventurer's adventurer, and swore that he would be like you one day. I believe that he would have succeeded had a fiend not robbed him of the chance. Since that day, I have thought long and hard about giving up adventuring. But when I think of the woman you are, of all that you've achieved, I find that I am inspired, just as Avir once was. And so I've decided to start again as an adventurer. I will go back to the village of my birth and begin my training anew. But I wanted to meet you first, to ask you your name. Amber. Amber, I shan't forget. Thank you, Amber. I pray that we will meet again. Fare you well. Adventuring can be a cruel bleeding business, time was. I didn't know why anyone would bother. When they first asked me to take charge of the guild here, I didn't want aught to do with you lot. Thought it'd be a right pain in the arse looking after you all. But against my better judgment, I decided to accept the post, and I'm full glad I did. I feel privileged to be a part of your lives. And that goes double for yours, Amber. Eh? What did you say? You want to know about the Scions of the Seventh Dawn? They're beginning to move in earnest, then. Listen, Amber, the Scions ain't no ordinary folk, and the work they do ain't no ordinary work. I know full well how capable you are, but even you would think twice about attempting some of the stuff they do. And knowing that, if you're still certain you want to get involved, I'll tell you what I can. Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Momodi is ready to tell you what she knows about the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Okay. So you want to know more then, do you? Well, that ain't that a surprise. I swear if I painted certain death on one door and limitless wealth on another, 9 out of 10 adventures would go through the first, and the other bloke wouldn't be able to choose on account of being Ul'dah. Anyway, don't say I didn't warn you. First of all, if you're wondering whether you can trust these Scions of the Seventh Dawn, you can. They're good people who've made it their mission to solve some of Eorzea's most pressing problems. Of course, that ain't no small task, and so they're always looking for dependable individuals to join them. Individuals like you, Amber. Now I've been given leave to tell you where to find the Scions, but you must promise to keep this information to yourself. As you can probably imagine, it's something Eorzea's enemies would very much like to know. The Scions are headquartered in Vesper Bay, out in western Thenelin. The place you're looking for is called the Waken Sands. Give your name to whoever's at the entrance and you'll be let in. You're a woman in demand, Amber, and the days ahead promise to be busy, but I hope you won't forget about them as helped make you into the adventurer you are. Drop in and tell them how you're faring from time to time, you hear? Right, well, I've said my piece. Off you go. I'm gonna turn this in as my rogue. Pray return to the Waking Sands. Hire a porter, Horizon. It's cheaper than teleporting. all the way to the west. I'm gonna do some cursory things for them, and then I'll finally get my own mount. Sweet, sweet mount. She's trying to take over the world. Deep in the desert of my heart, a lonely flower blooms, yearning for the heavens above to quench my thirst for you. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la. Yeah, see, exactly. She's plotting to take over the world. Wah! I would think you not to sneak up on me like that. Now, please be advised that this is private property. Unless you have pertinent business here, I must ask you to... Here at the behest of Y'shtola. My sincerest apologies. May I please have your name? Pain in your butt. Pain in your butt. Pain in your butt. I mean, Amber, here you are. Ahem, I bid you welcome to the Waking Sands, headquarters of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. My name is Tatru, and I look forward to assisting you during your time with us. The antecedent is within the solar. I shall let her know to expect you. Okay, downstairs and through the door. Warning, please do not stare at her chest when she talks, because it heaves a lot when she breathes. I take it you are Amber? Tutter sent word that you had arrived. Lady Minfilia has eagerly awaited your coming. This way, if you please. Money.
So you're the adventurer of whom I've heard so much. Well met, friend. My name is Minfilia, and I lead the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I have awaited your coming. Please, be at ease. You are among friends here. No doubt you are ripe to burst with questions. But have patience. All will be revealed in time. First, let me begin by telling you who we are and what we do. We are the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, an order that transcends political boundaries. Our single objective is the preservation of the future of Eorzea. Among our gravest concerns are the godlike beings known as the Primals. Their existence is a bane upon Eorzea, nay, the world at large, and we have striven to find a lasting solution to the threat they
pose.
Our order is home to a number of individuals who, like you, possess a rare and special talent. This talent takes various forms, but one holds particular interest for us. Tell me, have you ever experienced a sudden, inexplicable loss of consciousness?
I wish I'd be getting a lot more sleep.
Have you ever had the sensation of being pulled away from reality? Felt as though you were hovering in space? A mind without a body? All these things are the manifestations of your talent. Yours is the power to transcend the boundaries of the soul, a power known as the Echo. The Echo allows you to pass through the walls of a man's soul and hear the resonations of his past. You will be there in his memories and see things as he saw them. You may even interact with that which you see, though you cannot change the outcome of events. For another blessing, the Echo will enable you to know a man's mind even if you cannot comprehend his words. In short, the Echo is a truly extraordinary power, and this power is strong within you. It is only a shame that we cannot use it whensoever we choose. That's right. I too possess the Echo. With that established, let us return to the subject of the primals. So long as they exist, the realm cannot take so much as a single step towards true peace. Measures must be taken. Measures which transcend boundaries, be they of faction, race, language, or creed. And to do so, the Scions require the aid of those with our talent. Make no mistake, the Echo will be instrumental in dealing with the primal threat. Without it, we cannot hope to save the realm.
But she fails to tell you that's pretty much all she's good for.
I know not what it is you desire for yourself, nor what it was that first brought you to Eorzea. But I firmly believe that the power we possess was given to us for a purpose. Why else would the gods entrust man with a gift so extraordinary, if not to have him use it? And so I implore you, lend us your power.
Naturally, your aid will not go unrewarded. We are fortunate to have a number of influential allies, and at a word from me, they will gladly afford you certain privileges that might otherwise be denied you. The right to employ retainers, for example. Are you familiar with them? They are individuals who may be relied upon to manage your assets and belongings on your behalf. The papers you requested, my lady. Thank you, Tataru. The pleasure is mine, my lady. By way of a welcoming gift, I have taken the liberty of adding your name to the retainer's registry. As of now, you are entitled to employ the services of a retainer. You will need to consult a retainer vocate regarding the particulars of this arrangement. Believe me when I say that retainers will prove invaluable to you in your adventuring endeavors. Yeah, they're also in my bank. Let this gesture serve as evidence of our commitment to do all in our power to facilitate your personal objectives. In return, we ask that you aid us to the fullest extent of your talents. A mutually beneficial relationship, I am sure you will agree, and one which serves the greater good besides. Well, that was a veritable lecture, was it not? Forgive me, but it is important that all concerned are aware of what is expected of them. Now you know our purpose and what we can offer you. I invite you to consider joining us. When you have come to a decision, you may tell me without fear of censure. In good faith, I shall entrust you with our order's password, which our members use to reach one another when afield. It is Wild Rose. Pray keep it safe. Okay. We Scions have but one objective, to safeguard the future of Eorzea. Among our gravest concerns are the godlike beings known as the Primals. Long have we striven to find a lasting solution to the threats that they pose. I know not what it is you desire for yourself, nor what it was the first brought you to Eorzea, but I firmly believe that the power we possess was given to us for a purpose. Pray consider this when you give me your answer, Amber. Why is it so small? I will go whither the wild rose blooms. A wild rose by any other name. Minfilia is waiting to hear whether or not you will pledge your support to the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Okay.
I take it you will help us. Wonderful! I knew you wouldn't let us down. But come, I would introduce you to your friends in the Order. Tell me, does the name Sharlayan ring any bells? It used to be one of Eorzea's 6 city-states, and was situated in the northwest of Aldenard. The Sharlayans were the keepers of wisdom both old and new. Their mastery over magic and ether was unsurpassed, and even the Garleans knew to fear them. Among their number, there were a noble few who devoted their lives to safeguarding the future of Eorzea. When the realm began its descent into chaos, and their countrymen fled for the motherland, they alone chose to remain here. These noble men and women were called the Archons. Those same brave souls stand before you now. The masked woman is Ida, and beside her is Popalimo. The two are charged with surveying the Twelveswood.
Hello there!
Welcome!
Okay, my turn to introduce someone. That there is Thancred.
He is our man here in Ul'dah, Jewel of the Desert.
Welcome to the team. If I may, the lovely maiden beside me is named Y'shtola. Limsa Lominsa has the pleasure of being under her care.
Greetings. I have been expecting you. Last but not least is Urianger, who presides over all affairs within these halls. Pray seek him out whenever you have questions.
Dawn may banish even the darkest night. The words of a dear friend. I'm glad of our meeting.
At the Battle of Carteneau, our leader was taken from us. But we did not stray from our purpose. We sought out Minfilia and others with her talent, and together established the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
Along with the Archons, those blessed with the Echo play a pivotal role in our endeavor to forge a brighter tomorrow for the realm. Oh, I should also introduce you to Tataru, our clerk. She ensures that everything runs smoothly.
Pleased to make your acquaintance.
In time, I hope you will come to think of us as family. But without further ado, I would assign you your first task. Urianger, have the documents arrived from the students of Baldessian?
Aye, my lady. They arrived but recently.
We have received a request for aid from the Immortal Flames. Thancred, would you do the honors?
It would be my pleasure. Some days ago, a crystal caravan registered to Amagina and Sons mineral concern was waylaid and divested of its cargo. But there is more. Within a bell of the robbery, several people were reported missing from the shantytown outside the city.
At a glance, one would assume the involvement of bandits, kidnappers, and coincidence. Such crimes are hardly uncommon, and the Immortal Flames deal with their like almost every day. However, this time we have reason to believe that a primal is involved.
Aye, the evidence left behind implicates the Emolja, who are known worshippers of Ifrit. If we then consider the objects that were taken, there is no room left for doubt. The crimes were committed in the name of a primal.
That you may better understand the nature of our struggle with the primals, I would have you play the leading role in this investigation. You have my thanks. If there is aught you wish to know, I recommend you speak with Thancred. He is well versed in the affairs of Ul'dah.
Ever at your service, fair lady.
Ready to begin, are we? That's the spirit. So then, your mission is to investigate a crystal robbery and a spate of abductions. Crimes which we believe to be connected. Assuming we are correct, it is like that any discoveries we make in relation to one will further our understanding of the other. Now, since the attack on their caravan, our friends at Llama & Sons Mineral Concern have doubled security over all their shipments. In light of this, it is my judgment that the abduction should be our priority. According to our preliminary findings, the majority of the missing were last seen in the vicinity of Camp Drybone, so that would seem a fine place to begin. A fellow by the name of Isambird serves as the camp's de facto leader. Pay him a visit and see that he gives us his full cooperation. Just gonna go back to Ul'dah. I need to go to Central Thenelin first. And have it all the way north. Unfortunately, the Chocobo Porter does not go to Blackbrush yet because I have not visited there. Manual running for me. Okay, Chocobo Keep. An Aetheryte. Now to go way east and a little north. Northeast to Drybone. Okay, gonna sneak the Choco Porter first. And then the Aetheryte. Aye, I'm Isambard, here to search for the missing folk, I take it? Minfili sent word that an adventure fitting your description would be along. She also warned us to be wary of the Ul'dah. It seems we know who the culprits are at the very least. Now, I bear no official title at this camp, but the people here have come to look to me for leadership. You have my word that I'll do all that I can to help see the victims safely returned. Unsolved mystery. Isambard of Camp Drybone is seeking help to solve a mystery of missing persons. Let us get right to it then. Minfilia names the Ul'dah culprits in all this. You would do well to investigate them first. Much harm has been levied on these lands by Ul'dah hands. The flames burn where they might, but their light cannot stay the darkness in all places at all times. There have been brutal murders of callers at the church of the Saint Adama Landama, innocents wishing no more than to pay their respects to the dead. The poor souls deserve a proper burial. I would see to the deed before mongrels catch their scent, but I know not if the Ul'dah still linger. Would you secure the remains for me, friend? You will find them on the eastern road. 12 willing, you may even come to learn something of what the Ul'dah seek in this area. Just a touch to the south, but we have to go up and over. Purple circle of ripe corpses. And stuff to kill. Now to collect them and carry around 3 dead bodies, because that's doable. It is good to see you returned. Were you able to secure the remains of our fallen? Yep, here's some flowers. With the bodies given back proper to the earth, the souls will find their way across to the other side. You have done a noble deed this day. I thank you. You're welcome. Now then, what are the Ul'dah? Did you see any? Surely such massive monstrosities, they cannot conceal their presence, much less take their quarry unwares. Ah, so there were Ul'dah remaining after all. I feared as much. Their part in the lowborn disappearing is all but confirmed, but I sense there is more to this than meets the eye. The occasional Ul'dah raiding party would not account for people going missing in these kinds of numbers. The total is too great, and the questions too many. It would not surprise me in the least to learn of another hand in this. But whose? Countless travelers pass through Drybone every day, and even if it were one among them, how would we best discover who may be implicit in these vanishings? Ask. What poor people think. Ah, came to the right place. Isambard aims to turn his investigation to the common folk. What say we turn an eye to the common folk themselves? It may be among them that we find the reasons for these vanishings. 12 forbid it be so. There's a merchant by the name of Ungust who was born here in Drybone and grew up in the Golden Bazaar. A gruff character, but he knows the people here better than anyone else. I'd wager he's at the inn, quaffing away the day's earnings. Here, I'll write a note for you to show him, else he's not like to speak to you. Yeah, if he can afford ale, something tells me he's not in touch with the common. Oh, yeah, not him. Well, gods be damned. You're the bloody adventurer who threatened me back in Ul'dah. What in the seven hells do you want with me now? Yeah, I wouldn't say he's in touch with anyone. Dear friend, missing people, please help. Yours isn't barred. Folk around here are as wary as they come. They'll turn tail and run if you so much as pass wind nearby. Played them all for fools and coaxed some hard labor out of them, I did. If anything, they're even more timid than before. What with all the disappearances? You can go talk to him yourself if you don't believe me. Okay. I don't really believe you. You're kind of a drunk and sick person. Please, miss, just leave me be. I've nothing to say but this. Tha'll take who or whatever's been feeding off us low folk. What do you want from me? I don't know anything, I swear. Please don't kill me. Just as I told you, wasn't it? The whole lot of them are terrified. There's been talk of folk getting abducted, but if you ask me, they simply up and moved on to a better place. This ain't exactly Casa del Sol, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, you're still a jerk. Welcome back, Amber. Have you learned aught of import? I see. I suppose I should have expected as much from Ungust. Well, another thought occurred to me in your absence. The common folk are nothing if not fervent in their religious beliefs. Perhaps if they speak freely to their gods, then the clergy may know something of use. Money. A proper burial. Isambard would like you to learn what you can from the clergy. If we would know what the common folk speak of their gods, we've no better place to ask than that of the Church of Saint Adama Landama. It is a small and humble church found in the northwest of here. And so long as you are headed there, might I ask you to deliver this embalmed corpse? A morbid request, I grant you. But it must be borne to burial, and I trust none more than you to see it done. Seek out a man named Marquis. He tends to the graves of XIV. He will tell you where the body is to be interred. How casual that is. Here's a dead body. Can you take it over there? Okay. And then they've been talking to this dead body for over 8 years. I am Marquis, yes, a body? Of course. There have been so many bodies of late. I apologize, miss. If you seek a place of burial, then there is an empty grave atop the ridge. Take the path and lay him to rest there. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is that there actually is a path right here. My first time here, I went jumping around everywhere trying to find this place. Ended up Googling it. Gravesite flower. Naked body. Because walking down is too normal for me. May they all walk in Thal's realm. What, missing people? I'm afraid I cannot help you. But maybe Sister Orson can. She has been kind to me. Everyone has been so kind. I don't know why, though. Pardon me, you'll find Sister Orson within the church walls. I I hear you have done us a service of burying a fallen soul. Please accept our gratitude and extend it to Isambard when next you see him. You seek knowledge of missing Drybone inhabitants? It is true, I am closer to the people than any other in the Order. I confide in them, and they in me. When they wish to speak to their keeper, Thal, I am the medium through which they do. Should I learn anything pertinent, I will be sure to share the information with you. I only wish Marquis would be more helpful in the matter. I pray he did nothing to offend. He saw terrible things during the calamity. His scars run deep. Indeed, he seems to now prefer the company of the dead over the living. While tragic, I fear such behavior ill befits the Church. I received word not long ago that one of our recent visitors, a man called Thancred, I believe, took offense at his conduct. I must have words with Marquis, and soon. Thancred, don't be a jerk to people. Thank you, Amber. Burial is no easy thing, even when the departed is a stranger. Were you able to learn aught of the missing common folk? You've been keeping yourself rather busy of late, haven't you, Amber? A pleasure, my dear Isambard. The name is Thancred, and I share a passion with you and our mutual friend here of learning what has become of these missing persons and why. I too spoke with Ungust more times than I care to count. There seems to be some truth to this notion of the common folk speaking their secrets only to those in service to the gods. Prostration, prayer, penance, abject deeds done behind closed doors away from prying eyes. Who better to take the pious unawares than she who takes confession, the good Sister Orson herself? Orson, she wouldn't, she couldn't. Even the most beautiful roses have thorns, my friend, and you would be wise to keep an eye to this rose. Still, the Lich Keeper Marquis, I'd swear to the 12 I've seen that face elsewhere before. Money. For the children. Isambard is concerned about the questions surrounding the Sister Orson's integrity. Sister Orson, it cannot be, though she is wont to travel to the Golden Bazaar on her own, and it is not uncommon to see her speaking to the children, but no, it could not be she, could it? I grow weary of these suspicions. I know there is one child in particular that she is fond of. Pray seek out the boy, Amber, and see if you cannot glean something from him about Orson's activities. No. So now we're going to head over to the Golden Bazaar. Golden Bazaar is over that way. Northwest. And I completely go pies. Yeah, of course. Welcome to my life. I get busy reading other stuff and brain goes brr. Well, while I'm running, I guess this is as good a time as any to do my outro and finish this part of the playthrough. Anyway, y'all, thank you for joining me for part 5 of my Final Fantasy XIV story playthrough. I hope it was enjoyable, besides for my poor job at voice acting. As always, feel free to give a feedback in the comments below, or just to say hi. I may not respond, but I do read all of my comments. Feel free to follow the links to my socials below and drop by Twitch to say hi. Tap that subscribe button if you want to see what I'm up to on YouTube, and as always, thank you for watching, and I hope you all take care. I hope to see you guys for the next video, and until then, stay safe, and ciao.